Hi YouTube, Thibaut Van Dam here with another YouTube video. And for those of you who are not familiar with my channel, I'm a singer-songwriter based in Southeast London. And for the longest time I've used my channel to share original sort of songs, sometimes covers, but I've also wanted to expand into talking about things like music business or publishing or distribution. There's a lot involved in being a musician, and as I've gotten older, I've come to discover that to pursue my passion, I have to take on more basically. And I'm basically happy to do that. But it basically means learning about all sorts of ridiculous things. For instance, open back headphones. So today I'm sort of taking the first step into that sort of area on YouTube to talk about lots of different things with music. But I guess I got to start somewhere. So today I'll be reviewing sort of these two open back headphones, the AKG 702s and the Beyerdynamic DT990 Pros. Now, both of these headphones are really popular and they're featured on a lot of different websites as some of the best that you can basically get, sort of like on an entry level. Now, they are both cheap, they're about $100, and if you can afford it, I recommend sort of just trying them both out and doing what I did. Now, I gotta say that trying them both out did not necessarily make it any easier to decide which one I prefer. I mean, it did take time, and honestly, they both have sort of their pros and cons. So I've written some notes on my computer, so hopefully I can sort of stay on topic and keep this as brief as possible. So the build of both of these headphones is pretty good. They're both really durable. The 990s are more durable, and that's because of their sort of metal components. You get sort of a hard plastic on the side here. You get this really wonderful cable that's sort of attached to the left driver. It's non-removable, but I'm not worried about that being an issue. The headband has this sort of replaceable pad, and I really enjoy that. I think that that's a really awesome feature. And yeah, overall, when I took these out of the box, I was like, man, I hope that they sound amazing because I'm already sort of infatuated with the design and build. Now, the 702s, on the other hand, have a little bit more of a frivolous design. There's a lot of sort of cheap plastic on them, but I have to say that they are quite durable in a deceptive kind of way. As opposed to the 990s being traditionally durable, these are durable because of how flexible they are. And I actually think that that was sort of sneaky of AKG. They sort of use sort of plastic in their advantage. So, yeah, I think that they're also very durable, but there are two components I'm kind of worried about, namely this sort of auto adjusting headband. This has an elastic, and I'm just worried about that kind of wearing out over time. Also, the left driver is driven by a removable Mini XLR, and I'm into that. But that means that the left driver has to power the right. That leads me to believe that these two sort of straw-like things are basically what's driving the right. And yeah, I'm just a bit worried that that's going to break in time too. Now, in terms of clamp force, that's going to determine sort of how stable these headphones are and also how comfortable they are. Now, the 990s have a higher clamp force, 1.4 pounds, whereas the AKGs have a 0.9 pound clamp force. I actually prefer the AKGs. I think that they're stable enough and they're drastically more comfortable. I've never worn a pair of headphones as comfortable as these. And yeah, I think I could actually wear them for hours on end and not have any issues. Whereas with the DT990s, I just started to notice it a little bit more after just even like an hour. Also, the circumaural cups are larger on the 702s, and I don't think unusually large ears, but I did realize that that was sort of handy. It just means that your ears aren't to the very limit, and like you just have a little bit of extra space to move around in. Now, I've seen reviews where people have complained that that's an issue, because depending on where your ear is, it could affect the frequency response. I didn't notice that as an issue at all with these. So I definitely thought the 702s were more comfortable, and they were definitely stable enough that I could sit and do mixing and mastering and stuff. Um, in terms of the sound, this is probably the most important thing, but I do think that the sound is informed by the design, so it's going to be kind of tricky to talk about, but I'll try to keep it to the point. The frequency response of both of these is fairly balanced. I think that the 990s have a low end sort of bump, and the result is that I just can't trust the low end as much. It's enjoyable to hear that low end, but it just sounded like every time I listened to a song, even ones that I was very familiar with, I just felt like the 990s were implementing their own sound signature, effectively remastering the song to just have more low end. And yeah, I mean, I enjoy that, but because I used ATH M50s for like 6 years, but I didn't think that that's really how a lot of these songs sounded like. And yeah, I think the 702s were just a lot more accurate on the whole. Now, the 702s have just they're sort of top heavy, but I actually think that that's an advantageous tool if you are listening out for sort of harsh sounds like sibilance or hiss. These will sort of identify it a lot faster, and so I just think that that's just more helpful, basically. Whereas on the other hand, the 990s, I feel like the low end is a little bit more disorienting, and I actually think that that has everything to do with the design. When we look back sort of to the side of these headphones here, you see on the 990s that this hard plastic makes these headphones a little bit more closed. And not to say that they're closed back headphones, but when it comes to the soundstage, which is this other element of sort of sound, the soundstage on the 702s is like brilliant. I've never heard such open back headphones ever. They effectively sound like, really, really just excellent monitors sort of near my ears. And that's amazing. I love that. On the other hand, the 990s, they offer, some open sound, and there's not as much resonant low end like the ATH M50s, but actually, I just felt like they had a little bit more low end boost, and it has to do with the fact that they're a little bit more closed, which is why they don't have such a wide soundstage. And so, yeah, it's not really a question in my mind. I feel like 702s offer more accurate frequency response and less resonant low end, and some people don't find that satisfying, but you can hear the low end, and I felt like with the 702s, it was just more accurate and more detailed. Even things that were meant to be blended together, they just came off really good, and I could identify the differences, and the stereo image is like truly remarkable. So yeah, I think that it does have to do with like the actual design of them. These don't have a whole lot of hard plastic, and like it's a design flaw in a sense because they don't feel as durable. But when you actually look, these are just a bigger driver too. So that's the other thing. Um, so yeah, I think that the ultimate takeaways and something I didn't get to mention is that I have two entry level interfaces. I have a Focusrite 2i4 and a UMC 404. If you have an entry level interface, you will be able to drive either of these headphones. A lot of people don't mention that in their reviews, and that kind of bugged me. So that's why I got the 990s, just to see if that would work, and they do. That's not to say that getting a headphone amp wouldn't necessarily help the sound. I think it probably would. I just think that it sort of effectively doubles the cost of the headphones. And, yeah, sound is everything. So it's probably worth it, but I don't think it's essential, really. Other takeaways, they both sound really good. They both sound really balanced. I think that the 702s basically are just more natural. And I'd say they're more just of a useful tool for reference monitoring, which is why they exist. They're reference headphones. They're designed for mixing and mastering. And so I just kind of prefer that. I don't think they're as necessarily enjoyable as the 990s, but then again, the 702s are more comfortable. So I just sort of enjoyed wearing them more. And yeah, I guess the last thing, which is sort of one of the first things I said, is that they're both affordable. So if you can afford it, give them both a go and just send back the ones that you don't want. That's basically what I'm going to do. I am going to hang on to the 990s a little bit more to do a little bit more research and just see if I can feel out the mids a little bit better. Um, but yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope that this video has been helpful and maybe helps you make a decision or maybe the decision to get both. This is sort of my first step doing this. I am learning new things. So if you don't agree with anything that I said or something I didn't say, please just write a comment, enlighten me. That's why I do what I do, just to learn more. And yeah, if you like that I'm doing videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. It does motivate me. I've reached my 40th subscriber, and I'm not too bothered about subscribers, but if you subscribe, it does motivate me, and I want to make more videos, and I feel accountable for my channel. That's all for now, and yeah, ciao for now. Thanks for watching.